Did you know India's first Prime Minister spent nearly 9 years in British prisons, studied science at Cambridge, and became Prime Minister when India became independent? Here are 25 fascinating facts about Jawaharlal Nehru. Jawaharlal Nehru became India's first Prime Minister on 15th August 1947. He took charge of a newly independent nation and led India during its crucial early years. Here is a fascinating detail. Nehru took his oath of office around midnight. As India entered its first moments of independence, it was one of the most historic nights in Indian history. On that historic night, Nehru delivered his famous Tryst with Destiny speech. His powerful words became one of the most memorable speeches of India's independence. Nehru was born on 14th November 1889, and here is something interesting. India celebrates his birthday as Children's Day, making his birthday special for millions of Indian children. Nehru was born in Allahabad, now called Prayagraj in Uttar Pradesh. He became from a wealthy and influential family that later became closely associated with India's freedom movement. His father was Motilal Nehru, a famous and successful lawyer and political leader. Jawaharlal grew up in a privileged family, but later chose the difficult path of India's freedom struggle. Here is a surprising fact about his childhood. Until around the age of 16, Nehru received much of his education from private tutors at home rather than attending a regular school. When he was about 15, Nehru went to England and studied at the famous Harrow School. His education in Britain would have a major influence on his future life. Before becoming a politician, Nehru studied natural sciences at Cambridge University. Yes, India's first Prime Minister actually had a background in science. After Cambridge, Nehru studied law at the Inner Temple in London and became a barrister. But after returning to India, his career soon moved from law to politics. Nehru returned to India in 1912 and gradually became deeply involved in the freedom movement. He joined the Indian National Congress and became an important voice for independence. Nehru first met Mahatma Gandhi in 1916. This meeting became an important turning point in his political journey, and Gandhi had a major influence on his life. In 1920, Nehru organized the first Kisan March in Pratapgarh, Uttar Pradesh. His involvement showed his growing connection with the farmers and ordinary Indians. Nehru was arrested 9 times during India's freedom struggle. His fight against British rule wasn't just political speeches. He personally spent years behind bars. Here is an astonishing number. Nehru spent approximately 3,230 days in prison between 1920 and 1945. That is almost 9 years of his life behind British prison's walls. At the 1929 Lahore Congress, under Nehru's presidency, the Congress adopted Purna Swaraj, meaning complete independence, as its goal. This was a major moment in India's freedom struggle. Even prison couldn't stop Nehru from writing. While imprisoned at Almora jail, he completed his autobiography in 1935, turning his difficult experiences into a remarkable written record. Nehru had one child, Indira Priyadarshini Gandhi. She later entered politics and became India's first woman Prime Minister, following her father into the highest office. In 1942, Nehru moved the historic Quit India resolution at the AICC session in Bombay. Soon afterwards, he and other Congress leaders were arrested by the British. After the Quit India resolution, Nehru was imprisoned at Ahmednagar Fort along with other senior Congress leaders. Even in prison, he continued thinking and writing about India's future. As Prime Minister, Nehru led India during its first general election in 1951 to 52. Millions of Indians voted, making it one of the largest democratic exercises in the world at that time. Nehru wanted India to become a modern industrial nation. His government promoted steel, heavy industries, power projects, and large dams as part of that vision. Nehru strongly promoted science, technology, and scientific thinking. He also shaped India's policy of non-alignment. In 1955, he received the Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian honor. From a privileged childhood to years in British prisons and finally becoming India's first Prime Minister, Nehru lived through extraordinary times. Thank you.